Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to go over some seed cutting stuff. We did some filming on another day when we were cutting yellows, so I'm going to show you guys that too, but we're going to go over some stuff today. So what Brian is doing this morning is he is sanitizing the seed cutting line. We're making sure everything is clean before we start. So he's using Stairback. This is what we use for cleaning, and he'll do this before we start, and then if we were to change varieties, he would do it again. But today we're just going to be cutting some white potatoes. Erica's helping him out. These two have been the seed cutting champs this year. Yep. The reason why we do this is to minimize any possible disease transfer from, say, the seed that we got to all the cut pieces, or from the equipment itself to the new cut seed. Hi, birds. There's birds living in the heater.
Nice truck, I think.
Yep.
Oh, it looks good too. I got to pry myself right out of it.
All right. Behind me are the potatoes that we're going to be cutting. These are our Norwest seed potatoes. As you can see, these potatoes are starting to sprout, and that's not a problem at all. Actually, the hopper will probably knock off a lot of these sprouts as they're going through.
Yeah, they're not like, once they get bad, they'll get all tangled up in here and they'll come out of the bag pretty bad, but I got some good sprouts going on in there.
Yeah.
They're ready to grow.
Yeah, they want to grow. So what happens with the seed cutter is you take a potato, depending on how big it is, and it's going to get cut into 1, 2, 3, how many pieces is the maximum?
I think 5.
5, okay. So the larger potatoes will get cut into more
6,
pieces.
5 or 6.
Yeah,
6
we'll take a look. We'll take a look at the seed cutter a little bit later, and we'll show you the actual knives and where things get cut. But what happens is the potatoes just get cut into chunks, essentially, and then there are sprouts, or the eyes will be in each piece, and that's where the new potato is going to grow. And the seed cutter doesn't know where those are, but generally speaking, when they get cut, there's usually a few of them on there. Okay, so this is actually going to be the last day that we're cutting seed. We've been busy doing everything, but we've had some cool weather and some wet weather lately, so this will be the last planting for us. We're going to cut all the seed, and then that'll be it. So today will be the last of the seed cutting. All right, guys, we'll go over how this seed cutting line works. We pick up the tote bags. The tote bags go over this hopper here, and then they're unloaded slowly. And what Erica's doing here is she is making sure none of the pieces that go by are rotten or just not seed worthy. So she's checking everything over for us. Everything that goes up here is feeding into the seed cutter. So the seed cutter has different chambers here.
So this is the shield here. I'll pull those off later, but in the very beginning here is where the bees that are not going to get cut drop down. And then these are, they'll get your single cut, so they'll get cut in half. And then this next set of rollers here drops down your 3 cuts. So the knife at the bottom of that's kind of like a triangular peace sign thing. And then the biggest potatoes make it to the very end. There. So there's this divider. So, these are the big potatoes, these are the bigger potatoes. And you see at the end there are the knives are closer over here. So that'll cut the potatoes into more pieces than over there in the middle. That's how they get like another size feature out of the same thing, just by separating what side they're on.
So the cut seed then travels down this belt, and then it goes into where we have the seed treatment. The seed treatment we use has a drying agent on it, and then it also has something to help protect the seed so that it doesn't rot in the furrow. Here you can see the potatoes coming out treated, and the color of it is just to kind of show the coverage. This is probably going to be the last year that we use this setup for coating the seed with. It's not really giving us the desired result. We like a little more even coat on the seed, so that's probably something we're going to upgrade next year. All right, we'll take a look here at some different sizes of seed. Here we have a whole potato that has gone through, and this didn't get cut at all. And each one of these spots here is an eye, and that is where a potato plant is going to grow. So one of the things about potatoes is it has the same number of eyes, whether it's this size or it is as big as a shack. So this is a whole potato here, and then we have another smaller potato that was cut in half, and you can see that there's 2 eyes right there. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And down here, this is where it's catching a lot of these little pieces that, this one does have an eye on it, but the purpose of it is to catch these small pieces so that they don't get planted, because if there's no eye, then there's not going to be a potato plant that grows out of it. Okay. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for seed cutting for the year. Let's check out this truck. This is a very full truck. Yep. Nice and full. So we cut 2 trucks today, and that's going to wrap it up for seed cutting. I think Ray's all done planting in Lewiston, so all this seed that he cut today is going to go up to Hall Farms in Durham, where Shane and I were making those rows. So the next step for all this stuff is to get it pressure washed, Ray? Yeah. So on a nice day, no, not today. You gonna hit it today?
I don't know. Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah. There's not really gonna be any nice days in the next couple days, so.
It's supposed to rain again.
Yeah. Okay, so next step for all this stuff is to get cleaned, and then we'll put it away in storage. Some of that equipment that we have that we only use for like, I don't know, 2 weeks out of the year, but it's important and you have to have it. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed your look at seed cutting, and we are all done with that for the year. So one more thing off the list. Cool. So almost done planting. We got 2 more trucks of potatoes to plant, and with the sweet corn, we have a few more plantings of sweet corn to do, and then we also have a lot of green corn to plant. But potatoes are almost done. Okay, guys, I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.